When you think of getting old, what comes to mind? Wrinkles? Gray hair? Forgetting where you put your keys? Welcome to Dr. Levitas. We tend to obsess over these superficial signs of aging, spending billions on creams and dyes. But there is a silent biological process happening inside your body right now, one that actually determines whether you spend your later years traveling the world or confined to a chair. It's not your skin that makes you frail, it's your muscle. Today, we are tackling sarcopenia. Now, that sounds like a scary medical term, and in many ways, it is. It literally translates from Greek as poverty of flesh. It is the degenerative loss of skeletal muscle mass, quality, and strength associated with aging. But here is the viral truth that most doctors won't tell you: sarcopenia is not inevitable. It is treatable, and in many cases, reversible. We are going to explore why your muscle is the true fountain of youth, and exactly how you need to train and eat to turn back the clock. And please take a second to hit the like button. I'll leave a comment. Your support is a big help to the channel. Most people think muscle loss is a problem for their grandparents. But if you are watching this and you are over the age of 30, you have already entered the danger zone. Research published in Current Opinion in Clinical Nutrition and Metabolic Care confirms that starting as early as age 30, we naturally begin to lose anywhere from 3% to 5% of our muscle mass per decade. Why does this happen so early? It's a combination of hormonal shifts, like gradual drops in T levels and growth hormone, and a decrease in the number of motor neurons that send signals from your brain to your muscles. But the biggest culprit isn't just biology, it's behavior. In our 30s, we become more sedentary. We sit in cars, we sit at desks, and we sit on couches. Your body is incredibly efficient. If you aren't using that expensive muscle tissue to hunt or fight, your body views it as dead weight and breaks it down to save energy. By the time you reach 60, if you haven't intervened, you could have lost nearly 30% of your strength. That is the difference between easily carrying your groceries and struggling to get out of a chair. Here's where the science gets really specific. Not all muscle is created equal. You have two main types of muscle fibers: type 1, the slow twitch, which are for endurance, and type 2, the fast twitch, which are for explosive power and strength. Sarcopenia is a sniper. It targets your type 2 fibers first. A study in the Journal of Physiology highlighted that aging causes a specific atrophy of these fast twitch fibers. This is why older adults don't necessarily lose the ability to walk, which uses type 1 fibers, but they lose the ability to catch themselves if they trip. That reflex speed is governed by type 2 fibers. When these die off, you don't just become weaker, you become slower and more fragile. This loss of power is actually more predictive of disability and mortality than just the loss of raw strength. We need to stop thinking of muscle as just aesthetic or for looking good in a t-shirt. Muscle is your largest metabolic organ. It is the primary site for glucose disposal. Think of your muscles as a suitcase for sugar. When you eat carbohydrates, insulin knocks on the door of the muscle cell to store that sugar as glycogen. When you lose muscle mass due to sarcopenia, you are shrinking the suitcase. You have less storage space for glucose. So where does that sugar go? It stays in your bloodstream, leading to high blood sugar, insulin resistance, and eventually type 2 diabetes. A 2017 study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found a direct correlation. For every 10% increase in skeletal muscle index, there was an 11% reduction in insulin resistance. If you want to stay metabolically healthy and avoid the diseases of aging, you don't just need less fat, you need more muscle to act as that metabolic buffer. So, how do we fix this? Most doctors will tell older patients to just go for a walk. Now, walking is fantastic for your heart and mental health, but it does almost nothing to reverse sarcopenia. Remember, walking uses those type 1 endurance fibers that you already have. It doesn't stimulate the type 2 fibers that are dying off. To wake up those fast-twitch fibers, you need power training. Power implies moving a load with speed. You don't need heavy weights. You need intent. A study published in the Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science in Sports showed that power training was superior to traditional heavy strength training for improving functional performance in older adults. This could be as simple as standing up from a chair as fast as possible, then sitting down slowly. Or pushing a lighter weight with maximum velocity. You have to signal to your nervous system that speed is still required for survival. Now let's talk nutrition, because you cannot out-train a diet that doesn't support growth. There is a phenomenon called anabolic resistance. As we age, our muscles become stubborn. They don't respond to protein as easily as they did when we were 20. When you were a teenager, a small amount of protein, maybe 15 grams, was enough to trigger muscle protein synthesis, the growth process. But now, your switch is sticky. You need a bigger stimulus to flip it on. This is where leucine comes in. Leucine is an essential amino acid that acts as the primary trigger for muscle growth. It's the finger that flips the switch. Research suggests that older adults need significantly more leucine per meal, around 2.5 to 3 grams, to achieve the same anabolic response as a younger person. This means the tea and toast breakfast is a disaster for aging muscle. You need to prioritize high-quality protein at every meal, aiming for at least 30 to 40 grams per sitting to ensure you hit that leucine threshold and overcome anabolic resistance. If there is one supplement that belongs in the cabinet of everyone over 50, it is creatine monohydrate. We often associate it with gym bros and bodybuilders, but it is arguably the most important anti-aging supplement for muscle. Creatine helps recycle ATP, the energy currency of your cells, allowing you to train harder. But more importantly for sarcopenia, it draws water into the muscle cells, improving cellular hydration and signaling. A meta-analysis published in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise confirmed that older adults supplementing with creatine during resistance training gained significantly more muscle mass and strength than those using a placebo. Furthermore, emerging research suggests creatine has neuroprotective effects, potentially helping to preserve those motor neurons we talked about earlier. It's cheap, it's safe, and it's effective. 5 grams a day is all you need. Finally, let's bust the biggest myth of all. I'm too old to build muscle. I hear this constantly. Doctor, the ship has sailed. That is physiologically false. A groundbreaking study published in Frontiers in Physiology in 2019 compared master athletes, men in their 70s and 80s who had never trained, against untrained men in their 20s. They put them on the same training program. The result? Both groups built muscle at the same rate. Let that sink in. Your absolute peak potential might be lower than when you were 20, but your capacity to adapt to training does not disappear. Your muscle tissue retains the ability to grow right up until the very end of life. The machinery is there, it's just waiting for you to turn it on. Here is the doctor's verdict: your pension. Think of your muscle mass like a retirement pension. You have to contribute to it throughout your life so you can live off the interest when you get older. If you arrive at retirement with zero savings, you struggle. If you arrive at age 70 with zero muscle, you lose your independence. But unlike a 401k, it is never too late to start contributing to your muscle bank. Whether you are 30, 50, or 80, the moment you pick up a weight, eat a protein-rich meal, and challenge your body, you are reversing the clock. You are fighting back against sarcopenia. Don't accept frailty as a normal part of aging. It is common, but it is not normal. Reclaim your strength, reclaim your speed, and reclaim your life. I'm Dr. Levitas, helping you live stronger, longer. Watch this video suggestion, it was especially picked for you. Also share, comment, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. It helps a ton with the algorithm. Remain tuned for future videos to empower your health and fitness journey. So, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep going.